Hello and welcome into the pilot episode of the new Tauros All Access. We're going to be doing things a little bit differently. First, let me introduce our new co-host, Edward Neiman. Edward has been an intern with the Tauros for a few years. He'll be taking you most of the way. I'll be on a little bit as well. Edward, how's your first few weeks in Minot been?
It's been great. It's been great. It's everything that I've wanted and more. Obviously a lot of buzz in the off season coming off of last year for this Toro team. So right place, right time. I'm super excited to be here.
All right, the new format we talked about. We've got a 5 to 10 minute show every day at roughly 3 o'clock, a couple minutes late today. That probably won't be the only time we're a minute or two late, but we're hoping to bring you inside everything going on in the Toros world every day, Monday through Thursday at 3. Like I said, it'll be Edward. We'll hopefully be announcing another new co-host as well here in the next few days, but really the goal is to bring people behind the scenes.
Yeah, and the NAHL is a fluid league. Things change all the time, and I think it's a lot to pack into one pregame show before a Friday game. So I think this episode is going to really bring the fans closer to the team and kind of get that excitement going as we move into the new season.
It won't just be a couple of talking heads either. Also, we're going to have some pre-produced pieces for you throughout the year. In fact, we'll get our look at a first one here just at the end of today's show. You can always see just on the right of your screen a rundown of what we'll be hitting every day as well.
Yeah, and I think this will be, a nice, easy format. Like we said, a lot of things to come, a lot of interviews and fun things planned. So definitely stay tuned for all of that as we move into the preseason pretty soon.
That'll bring us to our second segment, the preseason. That kicks off this weekend. The 50th season of North American Hockey League hockey, 14th season in Toro history. Today in the NA 50 and 50, we got to look at a Toro story, actually. Blake Lizotte, former Toro, now a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins. We'll have more on him throughout the season as well. And then a nice job by Melissa, one of our content writers. A good story with Cody Campbell.
Yeah, Cody Campbell previewing the whole season in its entirety. A couple returners this year, I should say a few more than a couple returners, about 10 returners on this Toro team with some new faces on the roster. So a lot of good content in there as Cody Campbell gets ready for another season in Minot.
I think the important thing there is after last year, it would be easy to look back, but he's about constantly moving forward, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, there's 10 returners. They've got some unfinished business, but really it's about this year's team and moving ahead.
Yeah, and I got that same feeling from Cody. He said there's no pressure, just continue to do the same thing that he's been doing so far in his time in Minot, and that seems to is what has been working for him. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he has in store for this next season.
Season kicks off with the War in Watford Friday and Saturday night. Fans probably already seen the sick 90s themed jerseys, but it'll be your first time on the call as well. Aside from that, what should we be looking forward to this weekend in Watford?
Well, I think the biggest thing is this is the first time the War in Watford is featuring a Central Cup rematch, two in-state rivals. It really can't get any better. We know it's lower stakes in the preseason, but these two teams really battled it out last season. Toro's far and away the best team in the Central Division the first half of the year, and then Bismarck came on late. So it ended in really fun fashion, and I think we're going to continue to see that rivalry brew as we move into the preseason in Watford City.
I agree. Yes, the stakes are, at least on paper, lower, but there's certainly going to be unsettled scores from last year, especially on the Bobcat end, I imagine. And for the guys who weren't part of last year's team, all those guys on both sides of the ice are fighting for roster spots. So, yeah, the stakes might be a little bit lower as far as what the games mean to the individual teams, but for the players, I would say they're probably just as high.
Yeah, and it's that compete level. You know, it's preseason, but the guys still want to go out there and win. And I think, you know, what better way to get that started than with your biggest rival in Bismarck?
After this weekend in Watford, Tauros will return back here. Still no ice on the rink, obviously. We're standing out here. But we will be playing on the Eck rink next door against the St. Cloud Norsemen, another Central Division opponent for the preseason. I think first time ever where we only play Central Division teams in the preseason.
Yeah, and you know, St. Cloud was one of those teams that were fighting down the stretch for a playoff spot. They were left on the outside looking in, so they're coming into this season hungry as well. And you know, just a good opportunity for Toro fans to come out and see the roster before the regular season starts.
After that, the Toros get an off week to set their roster, and then we head to the showcase in Blaine to start the regular season. For the first time ever, the Toros will kick it off with the United States National Team Development Program. The U17s will be at the showcase. A huge battle because points are still on the line, even though the Toros aren't playing an NA team.
Yeah, and you know, when you look at the showcase last season for the Toros, they ran into Lone Star and Maine, two teams that ended up making the Final Four, so competitive games were played early, and I think the Toros are going to continue to, you know, test things out early in the season, but those games do matter, and I think you'll get a sense of where this Toro team is coming off of last year.
After the TDP game, they'll round out the showcase with only 2 more games instead of the usual 3. El Paso and Springfield, a couple of good teams from Springfield missed the playoffs, but El Paso, a good team last year, so it'll be an interesting battle over those last 3 days with 2 games to try and come home and be in first place to start the Central Division portion of the schedule.
Yeah, it's all about setting the tone. The Toros found a lot of success in the showcase last year, going 3-1. It really set the tone for the rest of the season. We saw that consistent success brew over. So I think you get off to a good start in Blaine, you come home, you know, hit the road for 1 weekend, and then come back and play at the Mesa with some momentum behind you. I think you can really get things started off on the right foot.
Well, that will just about do it for the first episode of Tauros All Access. On the relaunch, we'll send you out with Ian Spencer mic'd up.
I love hockey. I love this game. Hit the net! Sorry if I'm swearing. Training camp. What do you want to say to mine on?
I shouldn't even be swearing.
Here's Johnny Small.
Okay, go.
Oh! Holy buckets. Hey, I'm up. Hey, I like hockey again. Yeah, Leon. I'm having a lot of fun. Hey, babe! What? Yeah, she is. What do you boys have to say?
Your neck guard looks really good. Good one.
What just happened? Go. What just happened?
I don't know.
Oh my God. Yeah. Goal! That's a goal. Says what he means what he says. He's funny and he's smart and he's good. Yeah, Durkin. Hey, I'm going first.
Okay, I'll go second.
That's how you lay down the law. Tell him. Okay, I'm scoring this rep. Confirmed. Yeah. Going for a goal.
Going to one touch it, like make a pass. Don't just bump it and leave it for him. Make a pass back on the stick, and then it's continuous. Same thing on the other side. He goes, shoots, comes sides. It'll be back checker. Defenseman, you'll be a stick lane. Go, boys.
Hoorah.
Go red down here, white down there.
All it takes is a little communication. Sorry, Grace, you got to keep the boys in check. In case the fans are wondering, we got a good group, off and on the ice.